Okay. Ready?
Yep.
All right, hello everyone. This
Hey.
is a bronze boot camp on a very slow Saturday morning.
Correct.
Yeah, this is a game mode designed by the T-Force Network to help you improve on League. You can check out the Trinity Force podcast information over at their website, www.trinityforcepodcast.com, where we got 3 great podcasts out there right now and another one coming up in later March. So if you're into League for analysis, learning the champions, or you're into more of the LCS stuff, there's going to be something for everyone there to enjoy. Also there's plenty of information for Battle Arena and Bronze Bootcamp if you want to sign up. Now this morning, if you do want to sign up, we're posting all the links in chat to a Google Doc that you can fill out so you can get into another game of Bronze Bootcamp here this morning. And guys, don't forget, in the next coming weeks here, we're going to be looking to send out and start making t-shirts for Bronze Bootcamp as well. We've already got some designs mocked up. If you heard on the podcast, we already have the Declawed campaign going out. As well as some other teachers. We're going to be doing a Bronze Bootcamp t-shirt as well. So if you're looking for another way to contribute to the podcast, think about doing this. It's a great way to do it. We'll let you know where you can get them as soon as that information becomes available. So in the next couple weeks here. Long announcement stuff, but let's talk about picks and bans. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. This morning, Horse Doctor, another one of our casters, is going to be spectating from the perspective of the jungle. Normally, because we don't. That's one of the areas that we kind of fall flat on here. So you can check him out. I'm posting the stream in the Twitch chat. Right now, it's just twitch.tv/JarenJones3K. If you are in that jungle, or you're just looking to help for your jungle perspective, he's going to be streaming from there this morning, okay? So now we can get into picks and bans here.
All right.
I'll let you start it, Kargan.
All right, so picks and ban phase, like a lot of assassin bans are Zed, Fizz, Katarina. So I honestly, and something that anybody can be afraid of is an assassin who is doing well in the role. So those bans are pretty fine. I don't really see any too many big issues there. Jarvan ban. Jarvan was recently nerfed. Doesn't get as much armor from his passive, as in he doesn't get any more armor from his E passive. So
yeah.
He's going to take a little bit more damage out of the jungle. His gank potential is still high, so it's not necessarily a terrible ban. But he isn't going to be as relevant in the early game because he has to really be considerate and respect the jungle he is in. Nasus ban as well. Nasus will farm for forever, and if the game hits 50 minutes, yeah, sure. Nasus gets really scary, so yeah, sure, it's a fine ban. We did see an Akali lock-in, though, for Mr. Tez.
I'm checking something quick. I'm curious. Oh, no, never mind. I was yeah, that makes sense. I thought, since we assume that people around this elo have a harder time closing out games, that Nasus would have a higher win rate. But I guess the lack of farming offsets that.
Yeah, it's if you're Nasus, you gotta know how to farm. That's just kind of what he does.
And don't get Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
yeah. I honestly, it's as Nasus, you really don't need to supplement any damage. You want to kind of maximize your CDR at the beginning of the game and get super tanky, and just let your stacking of the Q do your damage. And if you're really looking to do more damage, I've seen some Nasus who are super ahead for whatever reason build Trinity Force.
That's more of a standard item on him. The Trinity Force is.
Yeah, Iceborne Gauntlet's fine. He already moves fast and has a wither to catch his targets, so having an additional slow is not necessarily going to really push him out of control with the Iceborne Gauntlet, whereas the Trinity Force is going to have more damage right up front and give you a small crit chance, which is hilarious sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so besides that, Fiddlesticks being locked in the jungle, as well as Blitzcrank for support. Blitzcrank has really been coming back, and especially in like the lower elos, if you're able to land your hooks effectively, and well, more than that, control the lane from the pressure of your hooks, he becomes a terrifying pick. Seasons ago, he was pick or ban all the time just because of that reason, and for some odd reason, I don't know, more supports being made, he's kind of fallen out, but now he's coming back. The one thing you got to remember with Blitzcrank is it's scarier when when you're not using his hook.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
People normally don't know which skill to max on Blitzcrank. The best one, I think, is his speed up. You're not getting, your only thing you're getting from your other two spells is a reduced cooldown, basically. But if you're able to increase the speed up, you can get closer to getting that knock up without wasting your hook. And you can move yourself a little bit faster to get into a better situation for that.
Right. Yeah, that additional mobility, especially like pre-level 6, can create a lot of just pressure in and of itself. And with Blitzcrank in particular, and just any sort of lane situation where you're trying to trade and have this pressure as a support, every time you've got a spell on cooldown, that's less potential in a trade, and Blitzcrank thrives off being able to displace somebody out of position instantaneously and bring them into a really advantageous position for you. So if you're missing a hook, and this is something to keep in mind too, it's hook when you have the opportunity to really capitalize off it. If you're just throwing it at random, you're going to punish yourself really hard because Blitz has got a very low mana pool and high mana costs early on.
Exactly.
And once you run out of mana, you no longer have any sort of map pressure. Whereas if it's off cooldown and you're threatening to hook, which is say you're standing there being intimidating as a Blitzcrank saying, I can just make your day really bad, that's good enough. And just wait for opportunities to kind of use that hook to really displace the enemy team.
Yeah, and I know it's been talked about on the podcast in other places before, but if you were able to get that knockout before your hook to make sure that you land the hook, it's better. Like, same thing with Alistar, too. If you're able to do your pulverize and then headbutt, you can maximize your CC potential there. I like the fact that Tattooed only picked up Morgana after the Blitzcrank is locked in. It's definitely one of those counter picks to Blitzcrank, so if you're able to play it well with putting the black shield on either you or your AD carry, it can definitely negate a lot of the pressure that Blitzcrank is able to exert along with the poke that you're able to put out.
Right. Yeah, no, that's... Blue team is really looking to displace like the red team just in general. The Morgana is a really good pickup here because not only does it create a situation where hooks might just be countered by Black Shield altogether, red team has taken in some champions that also don't mind getting hooked, like Morgana in particular. She can just, when she gets hooked in, pop her ultimate and then just Zonius if she ever gets to that point in the game. You pulled me in Zonia's Hourglass, I'm just going to sit here and wait.
Yep.
And that in of itself could be a really bad situation for the blue team. So I like what red team's bringing. They've got a lot of strong lockdown because we do have a Callista.
And then a Gangplank.
And a Gangplank. So with Warwick and Lysandra in particular, if they do find a target out of position just in general, that could mean a very dead carry, a very dead jungler. It can mean a lot of opportunities for red team. So anybody who gets picked off is going to have a very rough go.
Yeah, so I mean, it brings up the importance of warding up either there or the enemy's jungle early on. So if you're the jungler, picking up some extra wards when you go back. If you're anyone in the lane, grabbing your upgraded trinket as soon as you hit level 9. It's only 250 gold, and it's such a huge improvement.
Yeah, getting an extra ward every minute to place anywhere on the map, and you have 2 charges of it. It adds a lot of opportunities when Dragon comes up, when you're side pushing if you're ahead. It's a great way to keep yourself protected and keep your team protected. So upgrading those trinket wards at level 9, really important. I would say top laners in particular like to do this. Sweepers are still good on supports because you're going to build Sightstone. Junglers are probably going to want sweepers as well just because they're those who just want to get in the jungle and maybe at level 6 pop off some ganks. So
But I mean, everyone else, I think it's the best upgrade. Then is probably the Sightstone. Well, not the mini Sightstone.
Especially in bronze in particular, I think
Mm-hmm.
you can run in a lot of opportunities, guys, where having upgraded sight zone means, or upgraded trinket ward means you're going to have more wards on the map and more vision. And since a lot of people don't really value vision that much in terms of not only placing but denying vision, having that on the map can really help you guys just set up great opportunities for your team.
Yeah, exactly.
And also keep people on your team from making poor decisions, saying, "Oh, there's 4 people in that bush because of that ward. Thanks, ward."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about matchups here. It's going to be Gangplank in the top lane versus Rumble. Gangplank definitely not as commonly seen in the top lane as the Rumble now, especially in the recent weeks anyways. But I don't know, this matchup is interesting, I suppose.
I think Rumble in particular is going to have an early shove on Gangplank, and Gangplank's just going to want to farm with Parlay.
Mm-hmm.
Just earn as much gold as you can, start stacking some crit, and then start trading with Rumble. Rumble doesn't have... He's mitigated by cooldowns and his heat resource. He's never going to run out of mana per se, whereas Gangplank does have a very limited mana pool. So Gangplank's going to want to play this lane more or less safe, unless he's getting some sort of aid by Fiddlesticks with a gank to try if Rumble's pushing too far out of position. So Gangplank, you're just going to want to play this lane safer, use Parlay to farm, and just keep yourself pretty well sustained. The less damage you're going to be taking in trades is going to be better. I'd almost recommend at this point, maybe go Crystalline Flask in the lane.
Yeah, that seems good.
But yeah, it's about farming, getting some crit, so then you can start trading effectively against the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, getting the Crystalline Flask, probably getting up the oh shoot, what's it called? I'll think of it later. Sorry.
What does it do?
Gives you extra gold when you kill minions.
Oh, Eversblade.
Eversblade.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the common builds is like that crit plank, sort of all in for the Q.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Static Shiv is common on. So if you can get that early and just keep farming under tower, even
absolutely
a little extra gold for you.
Yeah. And just being able to get ahead in that regard means you're going to have more gold, and then you can start building damage. And once you're able to start critting Rumble in the face just freely and Rumble not having a direct answer for that, that's where the lane starts turning in your favor.
Mm-hmm. So on Rumble's side, then, I think it's definitely going to be easier for him in lane, but he needs to be looking more for that first teleport fight.
Yes.
Once he hits 6. Whether that's a dragon or a bot lane fight, it'd definitely be able to either snowball him and his other lanes. It's going to be really important that you watch out and like keep communicating with your other lanes. You know, hey guys, you know, tell me when you want to teleport. I got teleport up. Just ping when you want me to teleport. You know, something like that.
Yeah, that communication is really vital, especially with Rumble, because like you were saying, that equalizer can completely just turn around and team fight. Just show up, hey guys, what's up? We're just going to slow and do a lot of damage now. Is that cool? All right, cool.
And like we've said this before, but as far as like teleporting goes, you want to teleport before you need to teleport, almost. Because by the time the fight starts and you think, oh, I should teleport now, you got to wait that 4 seconds, I think it is. It takes to teleport, and the fight will be done by that point. So you need to like almost... as soon as that fight kicks off, or almost when it's going to kick off, and you know that it's going to, then you have to say, okay, I'm teleporting now.
Yep.
Just so you can make the biggest impact, because that equalize all of Rumble's spells are damage over time, and it does take that little more time to get his damage off.
Yep.
So besides that, mid lane here we have Akali versus Lysandra, I guess. Yeah, Lysandra.
Yeah. Okay.
So Lysandra did take the exhaust to better deal with like Akali. I don't think it's necessary, honestly. Like, if you're going into a less optimal matchup, possibly, but I mean, like, I would have been fine, like, her taking, maybe not Ignite, but like a teleport or another defensive summoner spell, like Barrier, because Lysandra works well with her AoE spells, and she's going to be able to harass Akali well in lane. And because you have your ultimate to lock either yourself or Akali up, I don't think Akali's really going to be that much of a problem for Lysandra.
I think before level 6 on Lysandra, you want to harass Akali while still farming effectively, which you do that by using your Q to hit a minion wave, letting the damage splash off behind, and then trying to hit Akali when its opportunity presents itself, or vice versa, hit Akali and then get that CS. You kind of want to mix that up. But pre-6 Akali is not going to have kill pressure on you, and with your jungler as well, Fiddlesticks does have gank potential pre-6 as opposed to Warwick. And while that's something to be concerned about, the kill pressure is not going to happen until level 6. So I wouldn't have... Exhaust is not a terrible summoner spell to have.
No, it's not.
If you were if you're looking at lanes and how you wanted to optimize, I think Ignite would have been a better option overall. Because your job as Lysandra is to go in, root people, either ult yourself, ult target of opportunity, and then probably throw that Ignite out. Or use a teleport if you want to have mobility on the map. Exhaust, it's not a bad summoner spell. I'm not going to harp too much on it, but you could have taken Ignite in the situation if you felt comfortable. If this was a matter of preference where you just prefer the Exhaust, that's fine. That's nothing too worried about. But if you feel like you have to take Exhaust, that's not necessarily the case here.
Yeah. So besides that, moving on, bottom lane is going to be Kalista, Blitzcrank versus Morgana and hopefully Graves once he reconnects.
Mm-hmm.
So this lane, Graves I know beats out Lysandra early, and because you have the Dark Shield when Morgana finally gets that, you're not too worried about the Blitzcrank grab, but it's in that level 1 sort of where you have to be worried, because Morgana's not going to be taking the Black Shield level 1, but
right.
Most Blitzcranks will be taking the hook.
Right. I would argue all Blitzcranks want to take hook level 1. I'd be really confused if Blitzcrank started W level 1. She's like, I'm just going to run at you fast. I'm scary. Woo -woo. But yeah, you're right. It's levels 1 and 2 is where Red Side's bot lane needs to be a little worried.
Mm-hmm.
And just farm and get to level 2. Get that pressure for level 2 going early, because while Blitzcrank does have a hook level 1, there's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up for it. So just try... The big thing with a lot of these lanes, and something I'll harp on today, is that level 2 is incredibly important.
Yep. So, I don't know if Jeffy Bance plays Kalista much. I've been working a lot on my Kalista play, just because she is so different, and I would notice, the past couple games that I've been playing Kalista, I really sucked ass at CSing. So I went in, watched lots of videos, tried to figure out the best way to learn how to CS with Kalista, because even with, the latest set of nerfs on her, it becomes much harder to time your auto attacks. So what I've found works best is to be using your rend to last hit more. So you get an auto attack off early onto a target, let the minions take it down a little bit, then right before it dies, rend it. And I mean, even if you get only that one rend off, if it kills the target, you're not expending that much mana since you're getting half of it back anyways. Because rend will cost 40 at all ranks and it'll restore 20 per minion that you kill up to 2, so you can get 40 mana back if you get 2 of them. But even if you get 1, I mean, it's not a big deal.
And this is going to be another cool tip for supports in general. If you're working with a Kalista lane, her damage passive that she has on her W, if it procs, the damage is going to Kalista. So if you kill a minion with that sort of passive or an enemy champion, Kalista's going to be credited with the kill.
Yep.
And there's 2 reasons why I mentioned it. Number 1 is it's really helpful for if you're getting shoved down a tower a lot, to help facilitate great farming for your Kalista, to make sure that you're getting every bit of CS you can. Also, additionally as well, with Relic Shield in particular, it kind of clashes with Relic Shield a little bit in the sense that if Kalista's hit the target and then you try to execute, kill's going to go to Kalista, you're not going to be able to burn a stack. So that's a little bit of sort of communication synergy you'll have to work out with your marksman, whoever you're with, is I'm hitting this minion now. You're still getting the gold, I just want a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, the way it'll work is it'll prioritize the Kalista mark, but if it's still if that didn't kill it, then it'll proc your Relic Shield afterwards, and you can still get that. But yeah, you bring it back. The damage to champion is really important in a Kalista lane, especially early. With Blitzcrank, it's not exactly feasible to be using that for harass. So that's the one drawback to taking a non-range support with Kalista. like a Morgana or even like a Thresh. But that being said, you need to be trying to auto attack the same champion that Callista is, or vice versa. If Blitzcrank is on, the Morgana, make sure you're auto attacking the Morgana as well, just so you can get that passive off. Because I mean, it does even at rank 1, 8% of a champion's max health, and that is huge. Oh, we're still waiting for people. So, jungle, let's touch on this a little bit. I think Horse Doctor's me doing it more on his stream, but Warwick and Fiddlesticks, they both kind of have the same role. But that more like sustain jungler, farm till 6, and then go off.
Summoner has reconnected.
With jungles in particular, like Warwick's gonna farm till 6, and if your team has a Warwick, you kind of have to understand that if Warwick's not gonna be able to do much till level 6, he can't just gank a lane. He has nothing to gank with. Unless your team has unless your lane has a lot of CC and you're just winning that hard, where Warwick just has to come in and add a little bit of damage, Warwick's not gonna offer much. He wants to farm to 6 and gank then. Fiddlesticks, on the other hand, does have some things that help facilitate a gank. It gets better at 6, but Fiddle is going to have better presence early. So if you're the red team, you want to make sure that you're getting some strong wards out and kind of respect the Fiddlesticks. Warwick, on the other hand, not so much. You just kind of keep your mind and go, okay, it's round time Warwick 6. Now it's time to start warding up. So blue team, you can play a little bit more aggressive and not get punished as hard for it. Red team, you're going to have to wait till Warwick can kind of back you guys up.
Okay, we are going to remake the game here. Someone never connected, so we will be right back after that. Okay, never mind. Tesla's got one set up.
Oh.
Oh, he already invited me. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try this again then.
Fair enough.
There's always some problem.
Well, we got some good talk about lane matchups. Hopefully, we'll have some more points.
Stuff.
Yeah. I almost won the trivia game, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool that we got that going now.
Apparently, we ran out of trivia questions.
I feel like there's got to be plenty of them.
I'm the Fresh. That's a cool name.
I think we're ready.
All right. I think my leak crank may have crashed, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. There we go. Whew. It
Okay,
froze
we're
for a
good.
second there. It scared me. I was like, no.
Okay, so it's round 2 of game 1 here for Bronze Boot Camp. I'm not going to go through all the other stuff again this time. Just remember, this is all done through the Trinity Force podcast. I was trying to say proper and podcast at the same time.
Yeah.
But if you want to check them out, head over to trinityforcepodcast.com. Lots of information there. You can find out stuff about League. Oh, I think we got some of the same bands coming in this time. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some of the same picks. I think Yeah, I don't know. Do you still ban Jarvan now?
I still think he is worthy of a ban.
Yeah.
I still think he's a very strong jungler. While he has less armor, just coming out from levels in general, I don't think that's going to destroy him as the sort of de facto team fighting jungler. Vi in comparison has gotten better because Jarvan's gotten worse, yes, but
Yeah.
I still think in terms of junglers that have really strong presence in the early to mid to late game, Jarvan and Vi are both kind of on that same tier. And my league did crash.
Okay.
That league. So
You should
Jarvan's
be
still
able to get back in here. Okay, they do ban Vi this time though, but Nass is still being banned out as well. And I don't know. I'm always on the fence about banning Nasus. I hate Nasus, but I feel like I'm wasting a ban if I actually do ban him. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those sort of, I would say, like a catch-22 where you don't want to just ban random champions because you don't like them and they're not necessarily going to get played. But on that same note, like everyone's got a game in their mind where it's like, oh man, I don't remember that Nasus game where that Nasus just walked into our Nexus.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Nasus is one of those champions that can do that, but there are definitely other bans that are very strong. Like I'm looking over on the screen right now, Blitzcrank fun ban. You know what? Don't give people Blitzcrank. If you fear the Blitzcrank and you feel like whatever support champion or support lane that you're picking into can't handle it, don't pick it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the only time I don't feel bad about banning Nasus is when the enemy team has banned Riven. Then I know, oh, they're going to play Nasus.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, that is exactly what they want to do. But, yeah, I'm fine banning Blitzcrank as well now.
Yeah.
Katarina, I don't know what her play rate is, actually. I think it is around 20%, actually. So I think it's a fine ban. She's really annoying in team fights.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of matchups that really shut her down. I think actually Diana is one that does in mid lane.
Yeah, Diana's one of the favorable matchups, or Diana is a good matchup into a Katarina, but you don't see Diana all that often because that's just one of the few instances where Diana does well in that matchup. Most of her lane matchups, she doesn't necessarily win.
Yeah. So, Annie being locked in first here. And it looks like it is going to be a mid lane Annie. Maybe a top Annie. Don't know for sure yet.
It could also be a support Annie that's bringing in Knight too. I wouldn't. Oh, well, Janet.
Yeah.
I am 15 Janet, so okay. It could be a top, it could be a mid lane Annie, so yeah, you're right. Okay.
So then on the other side, we have the Warwick coming in again with the Morgana coming in again and the Xerath coming out for the first time.
Okay.
Now, Xerath does have a range advantage on Annie now. Small one, but definitely long enough where you can stay out of the range of Annie's Q and auto attacks. However, I think her ulti can still reach Xerath if you're talking about just range.
Yeah, if Annie can close that gap, that's going to create a bad day for Xerath. But this is going to be a poke lane for Xerath, just trying to keep Annie low enough to where that's not going to work. But, you know, I don't know. Xerath is going to need a little bit of protection, and I'm not... Aurelia pick's actually going to do that pretty well. So Xerath's a fun pick here. I like it. Just cast spells from afar and just don't let anyone get near you.
Then Aurelia and Yi plus the Kalista being picked up. Aurelia becoming a really strong pick in the top lane again. And Master Yi he's always been doing pretty well in the jungle. He's able to sustain fairly well, fairly effective as a assassin later on in the game if you just let him farm up.
Right. There is a fair amount of CC to kind of keep Yi locked down. Janna's going to help with like sort of disengage and re-engage potential there. But with Aurelia, Morgana, Warwick, Yi might run into some tough opportunities to really pull off Yi mechanics, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely kind of a treacherous path for you to be going in.
Yes.
Which makes later on in the game a Mercurial Scimitar a really good pickup for him.
And looks like final
Or
Jinx Locket.
John have to be getting the Mikhails.
I'm a little worried about the Jinx lock-in here for red team. They do have protection per se, but if Jinx gets caught out like in any form or fashion, she's going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean, with the Janna pickup, it's pretty safe in lane for her. Like, no one's really going to lock her up exactly. But, yeah, and Morgana's going to be able to shield her if a tornado were to hit her.
Right.
So, I mean, she'll be fairly safe, and she'll be able to scale really well into the game.
Right.
Just as Warwick will. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick. It's definitely one of those lanes where it's not going to be one that Jinx can get a whole lot of kills, but it's not one that she's going to have to worry about dying in either.
Yeah. I generally agree. Like I said, I think like just my biggest concerns when mid game happens, if there's no real solid peel for Jinx in particular, I think he can just remove her from the game.
Same with Annie,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so another tip here for the Janna is, since you do have that ranged harass now with the Kalista, it makes it imperative that you're auto attack harassing with Kalista to be getting those procs off as much as you can. Yeah, so be watching for that. Let's do a rundown of the lanes here again. So top lane, we got a different matchup. We have Aurelia versus Renekton. Renekton taking the Ignite and Aurelia with Teleport. So he does have the Summoner spell advantage. If it for like an all-in, which especially right now with the changes to Renekton make him very aggressive. So I think Aurelia do best to take the flask potions and just try to sustain through that Renekton. Because I don't think she's going to have a whole lot of kill potential or even trading pressure against the Renekton.
Aurelia is going to have to safe farm in the top lane until level 6 and beyond. That's going to be Aurelia's going to need to finish Trinity Force or get parts of it before she starts trading it into this Renekton well enough. But she'll normally with an Aurelia, you're going to want to go in a lane with Crystalline Flask and some potions, and just farm under tower for a while. Like Aurelia doesn't do well up until she gets a couple of items, and then she kind of blaze surges to victory.
Yeah.
With Sheen procs and all that jazz and the true damage. She's got a lot in her kit, which makes her really strong, but you have to kind of survive that early game. Renekton does have Ignite, so you definitely want to play that safe for now.
Yeah.
Just wait till you get like a Sheen or a Phage, and then start trading with that Renekton.
Yeah. Looking at the team, I don't want Aurelia to go more than a Trinity Force for damage items. It's not necessary. You don't need Blade of the Ruined King. It's not going to be doing as much damage as it would in against other teams.
Yeah.
And looking at the rest of your team, they need a solid tank.
Yeah, a strong engage and just the ability to get in and out of fights and still be relatively healthy to deal with Master Yi in particular, or just locking down Kalista, which is going to be huge. Having that initial stun is going to do wonders if you're able to start that fight.
I think that Aurelia needs to get a Frozen Heart in this matchup. It looks like a great eye. Like, you shut down Master Yi's attack speed, you slow Kalista's attack speed, which makes her more vulnerable because she can't move as fast, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, I think that should be a second item for Aurelia, or even get the Glacial Shroud early and sit on that.
Yeah. A Frozen Heart would do a lot of good against your blue team's composition. You're absolutely right. And whoever decides to build it, like the thing is, Warwick, Morgana, or Aurelia can all get it, and that's one of those things where communication does a lot of good. Where it's like, hey, are you guys getting Frozen Heart? No, okay. Well, if Warwick's getting Frozen Heart, then Aurelia in turn can go and grab a Randuin's, and then add an additional slow in a team fight and synergize sort of itemization. But those are little things you can do. Just like Warwick, you build in Frozen Heart, and if Warwick's like, "No, I'm not doing that," then just you build it. Or if Morgana's like, "Yeah, I got it, don't worry," then boom, you're good.
Yep.
That little bit of communication can go a long way in games like this, especially like if you've got Warwick and Aurelia with all that armor and health mitigation. Jeez, that's really good.
Yep. And not specifically for this game, but other games where you have like a AP top and mid, you need to be communicating who's going to be getting the locket.
Right. Or ban.
Yeah. Or banner, true.
Or banner.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary in for either one of these teams, but I mean it's definitely good if Janna were to get like banner of command to try to work out, because if they do start to get ahead and they're trying to siege against the Xerath and Jinx, it's going to be incredibly hard. So getting that banner of command onto like a cannon minion, Baron cannon minion, that whole strat would be very effective.
It would be. Now, I was on the T-Force network. I did a long post about why banner's good. In this particular situation, both teams don't necessarily want to build banner. Reason one is Aurelia's in the top lane for red team. Aurelia's going to be able to deal with the banner minion pretty easily. So blue team's like, okay, we really don't want to build it there. Aurelia's going to slide push, deal with that minion pretty quick. On blue team's end, like they've got a Warwick and a Xerath. Or no, I'm sorry, let me flip this around. If blue team were to build I'm losing myself today. If red team were to build a banner, all the MR would be mitigating would be Annie's damage, which is good. But there's also a Renekton and a Master Yi who's going to be able to deal with that super minion pretty quick. So Locket in this situation on both ends would probably be a better pickup than the banner.
Okay.
Because these empowered minions are immune to magic damage, and that's kind of the key element here. And since both teams are taking a champion with teleport, you could probably send a minion. Actually, you know what? Red team could actually build banner of command. If you're pressuring an objective like Dragon, or you're pressuring Baron, or just another objective in general, you could send that promoted minion on the opposite side of the map. Since Renekton doesn't have teleport, somebody has to respond to that minion, so it's either going to be Yi or Renekton. And if you're trying to get Dragon or Baron, if Yi's not there, Renekton's not there, that team fight's in your guys' edge.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Morg can build banner too, because the 60 AP will be good on Morg. She's got some decent AP ratios.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got past the top lane matchups here. Mid lane, Annie versus Xerath. We touched on this some. I think that either one would. Annie, once she hits level 6, will have really good kill pressure because of Tibbers, plus the fact that she has Ignite, and Xerath took heal instead of barrier.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
There's the binding. This is really an odd start.
Yeah, everyone's kind of picking fights here. When you're early on, basically what you want to do at the start of a game is head out, get some wards out, and just wait for it. If there's an invade, back up. Or if they're trying to get vision, try and just deny them from getting deep vision. Like, we saw a big fight up top. Renekton burned Ignite. Warwick was nowhere near dead. That wasn't really worth it there. Kind of hold on to Summoners a little bit if you're dealing with, you know.
Yeah, and in this situation, Renekton burning the Ignite was bigger than Warwick burning Flash.
Yeah.
Because, Warwick's in the jungle. It doesn't matter for him. He's just going to be farming, AFK farming for a while. Whereas Renekton, he needs that Ignite in lane to get that extra kill pressure, to try to get like an early kill at level 1 or level 2.
Yep.
Over that Aurelia. Okay.
Warwick's starting Krugs. That's A-okay for him. He can start either end of the jungle.
Kalista,
getting that red...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Kalista, make sure that you don't want to undervalue your W early in lane. Don't wait until level 3 to pick that up. I honestly, if you have a range support, pick up W level 1. And then if you don't, pick it up level 2. It's very important to get a lot of early harass out.
That early damage burst coming from her passive is a lot of free damage that you can throw on there. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Don't undervalue that in any sort of regard. He's using E to flash push this lane with the Rend, and he's farming the wave fairly well. So right now, He went Q. What are you gonna do?
Q level 1 is Bubkiss. It's just a way to reposition yourself. It's not till
Yeah.
level 2 that it really starts to do more damage.
Yeah, think of it in this sense, Jeffy. Like taking W at level 1 or 2 is you're getting extra damage without spending additional mana,
Yeah.
which is really big. And also that little sentry guy is pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, it's great for scouting out bushes in lane. If you're not sure, is that Morgana waiting for me to just walk up to her face and you can just send it out? Oh, nope, we're good. And like, it's harder being on the blue side to put it out in a good spot in the jungle. But, I mean, you can have it scout out the enemy's blue. Just, yeah, it's probably like another good place to put it. Because it lasts for about like 45 seconds. Seven laps it does. So let's see. Starting items here.
Good tornado.
I really would have thought Renekton would have gone Doran's Blade.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Doran Shield. It just doesn't. It's been kind of nerfed pretty hard in Season 4. Doran's Blade would have just been a better item altogether. Or a Cloth 5 situation for Renekton if you wanted to, if you really was looking for a defensive start.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're taking Ignite. You be aggressive then.
Yeah.
No, and Ignite is just coming back up now.
Oof. Renekton, mind those tower shots.
Yeah.
Like, those make your trades completely ineffective. And when you're dealing with a situation where Aurelia's got a Crystalline Flask with charges all day, you want to win as many trades as hard as possible, as long as possible.
Renekton, just go. I mean, sorry. Warwick, just go farm.
Yeah. Yeah, you sitting there in lane's not going to give you anything. You don't have a lot of damage right now. In fact, you haven't upgraded your jungle item. You've got a few creeps. How much gold are you sitting on? 815? You could upgrade your jungle item and get some potions, get some wards. You should have gone back a long time ago, gotten Trailblazers or gotten Skirmisher's Blade. Yeah, this right here, you're not getting anything out of this.
Yeah, Renekton is being too aggressive. If you want to be getting those kills, you can't be shoving the lane as much. Don't be using your Q on minions.
Yeah, that was tower shots. Yeah.
Yeah, sloppy.
Like, playing aggressive is one thing. And what you can do in a lane where you want to play aggressive and deny farm, keep Aurelia away from farming. That's all you got to do. Like, you kept shoving that lane and allowing Aurelia to just more or less passively freeze the lane under tower and just farm at her leisure.
Which is really good for Aurelia, because with the Blade Surge reset, it makes it much easier for her to get around and farm under tower.
But go into that gank in the mid lane, because we had a lot of stuff happening in that short minute. Warwick, like I was saying earlier, you don't have a very strong gank at level 3. It's level 6 where you start to do a lot of work. You want to farm a little bit, and then you want to go upgrade your jungling item. Either to Skirmisher Saver, Stalker's Blade. Like, you're going to go Stalker's Blade, that's A-okay. You want to get those upgrades quickly, because that helps your jungle clear time, and you could just easily... Oh, yeah, he's going to get an early dragon. I'll buy yourselves these.
Nice. Definitely worth it. Great job. I think the Skirmisher Saber would have been a better pickup for Warwick still. Because, I mean, there are still 2 really high priority targets that are going to be, you know, really squishy. He's going to be able to melt and mitigate their damage.
Well, there's a couple ways to look at this. Number one, with Warwick, the Stalkers or Skirmishers, they're both really meant to kind of dual pick out champions on that jazz. You could also go Trailblazers that help your jungle clear, get to level 6 faster, and then gank lanes more often while still farming your jungle. Both are very valid options. Trailblazers is a pretty safe bet because you're always going to have that smite up for objectives. There's a jump in. Warwick, you don't have any ganking power, bud. Warwick just leaves. Like, those ganks aren't going to do you any good. And I'm going to pound on you with this for a little bit. Just get in your jungle, farm it. Just get in there and farm that jungle. There's really nobody on your team that can pressure a strong gank with you showing up, because you're just adding a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean...
Just get in your jungle, go farm.
Yeah. None of the lanes can really help too much in the gank. I mean, if Morgana lane's a binding bottom lane, that would work, but yeah. Farming is going to be his best option.
Yep, go farm. Just get your farm on, get to 6, then go hit a lane.
Same thing with Yi, honestly.
Yep, that's what Yi's been doing. He's been farming, he went and got a dragon.
Yeah, he is level 5. Warwick's level 4.
Also, just a quick note, guys. If you are playing in a game and you see like the enemy team's like, oh, they got the dragon buff, get a timer going. That way you know in 6 minutes, dragon's going to be up. That's when you want to pressure it next. Always have those timers on hand. If you're not in vision of dragon, you'll know when they get the buff. And then you can proximate when dragon's coming up.
Okay. So you giving over next buff to Annie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been hard farming jungle. He's almost level 6 already, so he's gonna get into an epic battle with the Gromp.
Is it? Is it? Oh no. It was close. He's had a couple close calls.
Warwick, your ignite needs to be used when you're trying to kill somebody, when you're going all in.
Renekton?
Yeah, Renekton. Sorry.
Yeah. Why? To some extent, it doesn't work just by shoving someone out of lane like that. You're trying too hard to get a kill, and you're not thinking about how you're going to do it.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Pop those flash charges, Aurelia. Just kind of hang out. I would also, Aurelia, just use flash charges before anything else. You are...
There we go.
He's going to get away with that.
Yep.
And he kept the aggression going, so I mean, that's good. It just... The order in which you used your abilities was a little awkward.
Yeah.
If you're going to go all in, just go all in. Just run at her. And something that you can do, just kind of moving forward, is just play aggressive and then just deny her farm. And just sitting there, oh, there's Yi. Bindings work pretty well, huh? Really might die for this. Or no. Uh-oh, here's the counter gank. There's that teleport coming into use.
Should have. Yeah, Jinx is level 6. Jinx, they're all grouped up. Where's the rocket?
Where's the
rocket? She doesn't have enough mana, I don't think. No, she doesn't have enough mana.
Oh,
Morgana! Holy shit!
No, just walk away!
You
guys were able to turn around and gank pretty well. Just walk away. Getting kills, not actually important.
That if Jinx had a rocket, I think that could have been almost a triple kill. At least a double.
That was a good teleport. You're able to turn around and gank and almost get some kills off it more. Just next time, land a binding, just walk away. Don't.
I will say that was a really good job teleporting from the Aurelia. That was perfect timing on that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There's the rocket.
Not enough.
What it did, though, it was still not a terrible use of the rocket. Now, Jinx is going to be able to shove that lane.
Yeah. And
they have to really consider about whether or not they can afford to back or not. Kalissa's really low. The answer is you should probably back.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I can't do it. Warwick just wants to ult on her face.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're going to do it, you just flash. You should have just... No, he doesn't have ult. Never mind. What do you do? What? Why?
No, Yi!
Oh, shit! Yeah, I missed it. Don't. Where is he? Where is he? There. Oh, he's doing red buff. Okay, time to watch this. All right, Yi. Time to see you die. Master Yi, Jedi Master, can't do enough. Bam! Oh, that was really close.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Bridal Bag had some Mandalorian armor, and he's like, I can't cut through this. This is too strong.
Man. 7 HP left.
Sometimes being a little greedy is good. Sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah, he canceled his meditate, actually. That's what killed him.
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate. So, Renekton, like, you have an advantage in that you are pressuring out Aurelia, but you're also just giving the minions right to her. What you need to work on is not using your abilities on the minions, and just positioning yourself in front of the minion wave so you're making sure Aurelia can't get the experience and farm. And, yeah, they're dying out before they get to the tower.
There is nobody to back up that gank.
Yeah, because, like, okay.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
That was a little deep. Unfortunately, that fight went on way too long. Really, it's getting... there you go.
Oh, there's a Tibbers.
There you go. Yeah, and there's Yi. There's all that damage. The Ignite going to good use there. Soul Shackles.
Wow.
was way too late. I was expecting to see Soul Shackles a lot earlier. But with that 4-man shove, Rally, you need to get out of there. Well, you're not going to be able to.
Didn't have mana for stun. Okay.
Red team's turret
So this should be another dragon for them.
Yeah. So if I remember, good movement from you guys. You're actually moving down to the bottom of the map and actually responding to the fact that Warwick was there. That was actually really good jobs on everybody's part, Yi, Annie in particular. Good job moving where you need to be. And honestly, good job to Warwick. I mean, there's a lot of things you can be doing to win this lane a little bit more. But you are kind of getting the gist of it where you're just pressuring and punishing Aurelia as much as you can. There's a lot of ways in which you can do that. In fact, Gathor, I wouldn't have needed to really... Well, you didn't need an ultimate there. Although, you are pretty big.
Don't keep chasing this, though.
Yeah, you got it. Good job, buddy. But now would be a good time to go home.
Yep.
Warwick. Well, Warwick, I wouldn't fight him either. I would have waited for Aurelia for backup. Renekton, you're now 3-1-0. Get some damage.
Yep.
But yeah, you've done a good job so far. You've won your lane pretty hard. So now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be a menace everywhere else. Whether that's going to be in top lane just to keep forcing Warwick to come top and letting the rest of your lanes continue to win. That's completely up to you. Good binding.
He's just using a lot of mana in lane. And you got to be aware, like, if you want to keep like in the back of your mind, if we get into a team fight, am I gonna have enough mana to use my big skills? So like, you need to start conserving mana, not using your rockets as much, maybe, or using your zap. Zap actually costs a ton of mana, I think.
Yeah. Too with jumpers, if someone's caught by a dark binding, just throw the jumpers on the champion. They're not going to be able to run for a while. That was close.
Oh man, that Annie. First item death cap, that hurt.
Okay, so there's a lot of ways you can build Annie. A lot of ways that have been described. Going a first item death cap's not as effective because you get an AP bonus. You get a 30% AP bonus to all of your AP. Which means it becomes more effective with the more AP items you get. First and foremost, you kind of want to get an AP item with some sort of mana regeneration, Morellonomicon, Athenes. That way you can continue to farm in lane. Or just kill somebody outright. That's still fine. With Annie, too, you can farm pretty easily with your Q, and you're not going to burn a whole lot of mana. And depending on how you rune and mastery into lane will kind of change this. But in early Sorcerer Shoes, followed by just sort of any other AP item would do a lot of good. Like, you could probably rush Azonias and do a lot of work with that. Fruit.
Let's keep saving your ulti.
Yeah, you can throw Janna whenever you please. It's not... You could use it as a catch. It's a good save tool, but it's also a good way to catch people as well.
Yeah.
Janna, don't forget that you can also release that Q early. Once you start charging it up, you can release it early and just throw it at him. Just landing that knockup's more important than doing more damage. Oh, that's a dead Warwick. And kind of what we're just seeing here is Warwick spent a lot of time trying to gank, couldn't, and now he's behind. And that's kind of one of the keys with Warwick. If you're taking Warwick in the jungle, you have to just farm as hard as you can to level 6. Just farm.
Yep. Guys, there's still like the mid lane turret still up. I'd work more on that right now. Because once you get that mid lane turret down, you can start to make a lot more movements in the map. Get some deeper wards placed in their jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragon's not going to be up for a while. You guys know because you hit tab and you look at the timer and go, okay, it's not going to be up for a while. There you go. Just hit that mid lane, knock it down, and just deny more vision. Yeah, I wouldn't. Xerath, be careful. Yeah, standing right there is not where you want to be. Warwick, you may want to run. Don't chase. Kills ever.
Go ahead.
One of the most dangerous things you can do is go into an unwarded area of the map. If you have no vision there, assume that everybody you don't see on the map is right there. You might get punished for this.
They should really get out.
Nope. He made a left turn at Albuquerque.
Oh well. That's good for Jinx.
Yep.
Got a good, not shut down, but I don't know. I don't think you can get this, Aurelia.
No. It's Kalista, unfortunately. But, yeah, don't run into unwarded parts of the jungle. Even if it was yours, at a certain point when you're down towers, that part of that jungle is no longer yours. And running there is just going to, well, get you killed.
Yeah, and at this point, because you're behind, you can't be using your ultimate as a way to engage for yourself without the rest of your team there. You can use it more as a way to lock out a high damage target like Master Yi or Kalista when your team is in position to help you.
Also, if you're behind, you can look at team compositions and start itemizing defensively. You've got a recurve bow in your inventory, which helps. It will synergize because you're going to go into Wit's End. It's going to synergize with your Devourer's Blade and you know, all your damage. However, you're behind. You're not looking to do damage at this point. You're looking to be a huge menace. And Jinx, you may have gone a little bit too far on the Elbic Road. So, Warwick, if you're in this position, as opposed to recurve bow, I would have taken that gold and gone into a Warden's Mail or Giant's Belt, which is for overall survivability. You want to survive more than you want to try and murder people.
Okay, so Dragon's going to be in 10 seconds. They're going for it here. Okay, yeah.
Yep, there you go. Good use of sweeper. Janna's got a sweeper. I would Annie. I would start picking up sweepers as well. But good job with Janna after she went back, got a sightstone, got a sweeper. Good, and Morg as well. Just getting those sweepers. Aurelia did upgrade her sightstone. Good job there. It's a cheap upgrade. Just get it. I don't. Black Cleaver's not a terrible item in Renekton. I think they're. Oh, that's.
Oh boy.
Yep. Guys, just run. Now is not the time to fight. Again,
Yeah,
if you,
over.
yeah, if there is no vision on the map, and I'm just gonna harp on this a lot. If you guys don't see anything on that map, just give it up. Give up. If it's a dragon, if it's a bear, if you can't see it, don't try and contest it. If you've got no vision, you can't make a play. It's something I've commented on before. If you're going into an unwarded area of the map, if you're ahead or behind. Think about it in an RPG sense where if you're playing in an RPG and you get, quote, ambushed, where the enemy gets first attack, you're worse off overall. And what's happening is you're going into an unwarded part of the map because you don't see them, they get to get an attack of opportunity on your face. And when you're dealing with an Annie, a Kalista, a Renekton, Janna, and a Master Yi, those 2 seconds where they're able to drop a stun or just get that initial damage before you guys can react, I don't care how good you are at the game, those few seconds of having the advantage means you guys are dead. So if it's not warded, don't go there.
Weird. Okay. Any boots
Moby boots. Okay, yeah.
with home guards.
The home guard wasn't necessarily. You don't need to upgrade to home guards right off the bat. You probably could have gotten an amp tome, or just waited to finish off your Zonya's hourglass.
Oh, she sold them. Okay. She changed to Sork shoes,
Oh, okay.
which I think is better overall.
Okay, so, well, both are good. I think if you're looking to do more damage, Sorcerer Shoes are fine. With Moby Boots, you wanted to pick those up earlier so you can roam around the map and cause plays there.
Yeah.
I think at this point in the game, you've got enough engage on your guys' end between Master Yi and Renekton to cause enough disruption to where you just don't need it, just picking up the damage. The Home Guards upgrade, not really necessary. You want to get Home Guards if you were really behind and you need to get to places faster. In this sense, you probably could have saved that gold, start building in your Zonias, and just continue to pressure this win.
Yeah, exactly.
But also give up this tower. You guys are in a bad spot if you stick around.
I mean, they do have Janna, so they should be able to get out.
Yeah. It is still a little bit dangerous because the map's collapsing on them now.
Yeah.
And Aurelia is nowhere near in a situation. She's not even done with her training force. Which is really rough. Oof. There's that chaotic fight. There's that Master Yi.
There it is.
Yep. And then there's the Master Yi going off. Oh, connecting on Rally in the top lane.
Yep. Okay. So it's been mentioned in chat before. Thanks to guys in chat for Warwick to be getting Spirit Visage instead of the Wit's End for right now, just because you are behind.
Not necessarily Spirit Visage. I would recommend like an armor item because you are dealing with Master Yi, Callista, Renekton.
Yeah.
I would say Randuin's in particular. I would have gone the Giant's Pelt path first into the Warden's Mail. That way you're itemizing armor against Yi, Renekton, Callista, and then having health to deal with the Anti-Burst.
Uh-huh.
That would be my itemization path, would be Randuin's first. And then Spirit Visage after that to help kind of with your sustainability and just getting that little bit of MR. Or after that, maybe if you're really that concerned about the Anti-Burst, go into Locket. Locket wouldn't be a terrible option here.
No. Because you have to concede at some point. You're not going to be that Warwick that 100 to 0 anyone with your ulti.
Hey, additionally, you only got your tier 1 boots. Warwick has to engage a fight by running at them. If you can't chase them down and you just got the paper bags on your feet, you got to upgrade those boots to where you can actually run at these guys. So in your build path, there's a lot of ways you can prioritize different items a lot sooner to be bigger impact on the map. Step 1, like I said, recurve bow, not really helping you there because you're only helping with the devours and enchant damage, which you haven't been farming the jungle too much, so it's not that big, and you're really squishy. So upgrade those boots first and foremost. Get to those tier 2 boots because, like you said, you probably want Mobies or maybe possibly Merc tries to deal with the stun duration damage, and just get around the map. Just get around the map, make a presence. Make yourself known, because like you're just kind of wandering around. You're like, I can't chase down anybody. Well, that's because you need your Nikes. You gotta put on those high tops. You gotta pump those air pumps, and you gotta go.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good way to put it. Yeah, so the only thing, like, Renekton has been able to be a huge bully in the top lane. I would have liked to see him try to pressure some of the other lanes afterwards. Because since you don't have that teleport, you gotta make a point of actually walking down to the other lanes. Oh, minions. Nope. Oh, there we go. Kobe!
Yeah. There you go. From downtown.
Can they make anything for this?
Well, Renekton's looking to, and he's, well, yeah, there's an Annie there.
Oh, I kind of meant red team. But.
Oh, no. There's a significant gold advantage for blue team. Like, even though they lost Shi, there's still plenty of damage. They've got it in spades with Annie and Renekton. You're going a little deep. You might get Jinx, but you're going to trade yourself. Nope, you don't even get Jinx. Oh, Annie.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good job on capitalizing on that sort of aggression there.
Good on you, mate. Okay. So Aurelia is the only one on her team that has gotten the upgraded trinket. Warwick, I think, should have been getting his... Like, after you got your first, second back, when you're getting close to level 6, you want to be getting that sweeper. Since you're going to be starting to gank after that. But everyone else should be working on upgrading their sight zone trinket. That's four dragons from. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They've been on point on getting those.
So we're kind of at this weird point. This is the point in the mid game where there are no huge objectives on the map, and nobody really has an idea of where to go and what to do. As blue team, since you guys have a lead, start getting mini waves pushing into the red team. Give them less opportunities to go around the map. Just get these waves shoving. And if they're grouping up for a fight, start a fight. If you're a blue team, you're ahead. I'll let them know that. Just get these lanes shoving, which they are in fact doing. Everyone's grouping mid, which is fine. Like Renekton right now could probably just go top lane. since Aurelia can't directly deal with them, you have to send 2 people to deal with Renekton in particular, and that gives you a 4v3 opportunity elsewhere in the game, and possibly dealing with Xerath.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. That's not. Where's Tibbus?
He missed out on a
Tibbus.
good opportunity.
Yeah, but Tibbus is behind. Oh, there's the fledge jump. Now she's showing up, though. If you're behind, don't fight for Raptor Cams. Just give it up.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Absolutely give it up.
Yeah. I mean, there is still that one outer turret left. But after that, they gotta really make a more conscious effort about deciding, okay, how are we gonna start breaching the base? Because against, they do have the Xerath. That is the one thing that Red Team has going for them. It makes it very hard for them to try to siege.
Yep, it is a rough situation to be in. They were almost able to pick a really good fight. Unfortunately, if Annie were in a better position, they probably could have cleaned that fight up fairly quick.
Yeah.
But they're still farming. They're still getting waves pushed. They're still putting Red Team in sort of a closed, smaller box. And since they can't move around the map, they kind of have free reign to do as they please. And that's good. You always want to farm. Farming is one of the most important things in this game. If you stop farming, you'll fall behind, and you won't know why. It's a very slow creep there.
And
Really?
Aurelia's been doing fairly well to keep up
Yeah.
and farm.
Yeah. Which is good. I would get a pair from Merc Treads on Aurelia. In fact, Merc Treads all around might not be a terrible plan. A lot of people don't have upgraded boots yet, which you kind of want to get at this point in time in the game, because with the amount of mobility that Blue Team has, just with Janna, with Callista, with Master Yi, you don't want to get in a situation where if you're a little bit out of position, you might mean you have to burn a flash where you didn't have to.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, Warwick, you're in trouble.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Actually, yeah. Teleport maybe 2 seconds too late, but then again, it may be not.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes.
Oh, no Kobe.
No Kobe. And unfortunately, that was just too late of a teleport. Well,
Yeah,
nice try.
I don't like Renekton going the extra damage at her now, because you have to look at your team, and you know, you have the Master Yi. He's going to be the one doing the damage in these fights. You need to be trying to tank for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jeffy, be careful.
You know, it's not the fact you don't always have to be the one that carries. Let Master Yi be the one that does the damage in these fights. Let him be the one that gets the kills. You know, you still get plenty of gold for your assists and everything. And being tanky in these fights is going to do more for your team.
Yeah.
Not that it really matters too much at this point, but you know, in future games when it's not so much of a goal discrepancy between the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Alright, so it's Dragon's up in a minute. So as a support, if you have an approximate time when Dragon's going to come up, I would say normally around 2 minutes before Dragon spawns, get some wards out in that Dragon Pit. And if, depending on where you are at that point in the game, whether it's like in the Dragon Pit or more aggressive wards in the enemy jungle towards the Dragon Pit, those are always good. Since it's going to be up in 44 seconds, wards should have already been there. So
Yeah.
always keep a mind on timers, and as soon as you get those wards out, that helps you guys a lot more too, because once they start moving towards that objective, you know exactly where they are. And that's when you can plan a good attack. I think Red Team, though, unfortunately, at this point in time, you gotta give this dragon, well, it's gonna be 5th dragon. If they get the
hard.
5th, yeah, it's a hard team.
Oh, Dang, just in time.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Like, they did what they needed to do, but they're just too far behind at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough situation to be in. But right now with Red Team, you kind of have to batten down the hatches and just prepare. Oh, Renekton. He's so far ahead. And Janus shield.
Okay. So 5 dragons now. It's still not going to help them like siege anymore. Well, I mean it is, but you can't solo it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't need the Baron to win by
Yeah.
any means.
Yeah, it's not a requirement, but it definitely helps. And if they can't defend it, might as well grab it.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt by any means, no. Didn't even zone those.
Yep. Yeah, not a lot to do. They're just super ahead at this point.
Oh, he ulted the Renekton. I mean, it's just not a very close game here. It's hard to really do a whole lot to come back. Not a single person is really ahead. Like, Jinx is the closest.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
But
Yeah,
this
it's
is the game.
yeah, this is pretty much game. All right, we can move on to the next one. But I think overall, it's just itemization, jointments, map movement, warding, and if you're behind, you got to play like you're from behind. And if you're coming out of the jungles of Warwick, you have to get 6 first before ganking the lane. That's absolutely important. And I will be right back. I gotta get something to drink.
All right. Yep, we're going to get another game started here. Stream is going to go down for a minute, but we'll have it back up in just a second. Good game 1, everybody.